again, the next meeting we meet will be on January the 5th. That's a Monday, of course, and that'll be 9 a.m. Standard Time. And this is what I want you to bring with you. Of course, you got your 3 sites. I want you to be able to make a case for each site that you think you would want to design, rework, refurbish, just give it some kind of a refresh, okay? And here's the ideas that I would bring for these websites. I'm not going to go through every single idea for every single website, but I'll give you a handful for each one, okay? So for this one, this large image up top, your menu is all the way down here at the bottom. That means you have to navigate or look at this very nice image. It's a great photo. Their logo is text, which not wrong, but I would put this up top, up on top of this image, floating over it some way, somehow. That way it's higher, easier to access on the page. I would add my phone number somewhere up here, as well as possibly a button that says schedule service or schedule a consultation. This text right here being centered is hard to read. It's also too much text, so I would reduce this text, and I would left align it, possibly putting a nicer, bigger headline here. It seems like the logo in this typeface is really important to them. Again, your call to action, schedule service, phone number up here, and maybe a smaller image up top, maybe no image at all. I don't know. I would rethink this image, this text, and where my menu sits. How these images align, for some reason they disappear right now. I don't know if that's an error in the page loading. And there's no real footer, so I'd add a footer that gives me some stuff, but not a repeat of my menu up top. All right, so those are some of my ideas for this one. For Blue Ridge Truck and Auto, you've got this schedule service. Yay, good. We've got our call to action up top. We have our different locations, and we have addresses and phone numbers up top. That's a good call. I would say that I would go for different color choices. This orange, while nice and maybe brand specific, I don't know that I would make the same orange on the submenu. It just seems a bit harsh. A lot of text here, and I would want a little bit more what I call scannable information. I like the headlines, that's fine, but this is a lot of text to review about fast service. For fast service, it sure takes me a long time to learn about fast service. And then there's more about their fast service and their details and whatnot. Center text, never like it. Again, these phone numbers, they're nice and useful. I don't know, I'd come up with a different way possibly to do this. Maybe I'd put my phone numbers here with their locations. And then, of course, as you scroll further down, you got a lot of stuff. These buttons, they don't really show up that well here. And then we've got our map, this totally fine map. And I like this footer, actually. I quite like this footer. With that said, those are some ideas I have there. Now, you could go through each one of these pages and say, hey, this is the thing I would change about this page, whatever that is. All right, so let's go over here to the next one. Wheelhouse Salon. I like that the book now is here. It's even here. I don't mind it here. I think that it's fine there. Putting the phone number up for the folks who would rather call to schedule their salon visit. I like the fact that this is what we call sticky. It hasn't moved. The images seem to be central to what we're wanting to sell here. We still have the ability to book. Again, I don't mind these book a service button floating throughout the page. It's a lot of text. And not only is it a lot of text, but if I click on the text, it brings this up. Again, still not sure I like all this text, but I'm not a salon person, so I don't know if you can reduce this. I don't like pop-ups by and large, but I'm willing to forgive it. Again, this is sticky right here, so we still have our menu floating and available. But as we move down, you're going to notice that we've got the menu repeated down here in the footer. That's one thing I don't like. Another thing I don't like is the fact that 1, 2, 3, 4 columns are all so similar distance apart that you have a hard time telling that Wednesday, oh, these are the hours for Wednesday. I would love to make them a little closer together. And in some cases, when you have the same hours for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just write Monday through Friday and then your hours. Now, they don't have that problem, but if you go to this site right here, let's talk about this header. Right there's the phone number. It's tiny, super tiny. So I would put it larger over here. Again, schedule a consultation. The header image is okay, really tiny text right there. These images have no context, so I have no idea what this means. Why are these images important? So I might add text to them. Their awards seem haphazardly placed, as well as these payment and other things. But when we get down here, notice their Monday through Friday hours are there. Tell you that they're closed on Sundays, and they're telling you to go see a different page for something else. I don't know that I would, if I'm having to tell you to go somewhere, then why not just simply put the information more easily available? Lastly, I think this is important. We do not offer emergency service. Well, if you don't, I think that might be something that I would put a little higher on the page along with your phone number. That way you don't frustrate someone when they've taken the trouble to call you and now you're not going to show up. See this little contact us tab down here? If I scroll up, you notice how it kind of is just floating here with other images. It's hard to see. And this would be a call to action. I would want that call to action, again, phone number, schedule service, to be up top and be much more clear beyond contact us. How can I contact you? Phone, email, smoke signals? Do I need to send you Morse code? So these are some of the kinds of ideas that I want you to bring to me. Not just these same ideas. What would you change? Feel free to ask ChatGPT, what would you change? And maybe even ask it, what would a beginning web designer offer to change and edit about this company's website? You might come up with some really good actionable things, and maybe even ask it, what would you offer to charge for these services? So what do you think this might cost? I'm going to ask ChatGPT that. What would I charge for these changes to the Blue Ridge site? And I'll go look at that one again. As a beginning web editor. I'm going to ask that, and it says a realistic and professional pricing might be something like $35 to $55 an hour, or you could do a per project at $500, maybe as much as $2,500, depending on the scope. So that's the sort of thing that you might be able to charge, again, as a beginner, knowing that it's going to take you a long time. You could estimate based on category type things. Maybe you're going to rewrite their homepage, redesign their homepage for about $300. Maybe you'll update some major overarching features of their site, like their navigation or structural improvements. Maybe offer to do that for $200 to $400. So that's a sort of thing that I want you to understand, that this is an operational business thing that you could offer your clients. Anyway, I will see you on Monday. That's Monday, January the 5th of 2026. I want you to bring me your 3 websites, what work you think could and should be done on these sites based on what you think and maybe other people you've talked to or what you've learned from ChatGPT. and bring those to me, and we'll try to pick out a site for you to go about redesigning, reworking. And it'll be a discussion initially in class that Monday when we return, and then we will start the project the following week. All right, see ya. Enjoy your snow day, and I hope that you are safe and sound and warm through your Christmas break. Enjoy your Christmas and your family, and we'll see you soon.